at 10, Western Oregon's only 10 o'clock news.
And good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Fox News at 10. I'm Natasha Chagtai. First on Fox, we have a verdict to report in the misdemeanor case against protester Ian Van Ornum. Final arguments were today, and jurors found Ian Van Ornum guilty of disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. Laura Rios reports.
Ian Van Ornum showed no reaction to his guilty verdict. The University of Oregon student was accused of blocking traffic and struggling with police. He said he was protesting peacefully on May 30th, 2008, staying out of traffic when officers grabbed him.
Did you resist the officers?
Not resist. I reacted to the pain.
A jury of 6 people did not believe him, instead choosing to convict Van Ornum on 2 misdemeanor charges, resisting arrest and disorderly conduct. During the 3-day trial, jurors heard testimony from nearly 20 people and watched video clips, including this one taken by a police car's camera.
I totally agree with you. I was definitely holding traffic to some extent, but I just want to say that I was only out there before you came up for a few minutes, and the thing had been going on for hours.
Another clip shown earlier this week depicts Van Ornum's controversial tasings. An officer shocked Van Ornum with a taser 2 times, leading to public outcry and allegations of excessive force.
Nothing that Mr. Van Ornum did gave rise to that level of force, and that's what Mr. Van Ornum's defense is. He has a right to defend himself against excessive force.
As I told you in my opening statement, either the defendant committed these crimes prior to the taser even being taken out of its holster, or he didn't.
Jurors decided he did. Van Ornum and his lawyers would not comment on Thursday. He'll be sentenced next week. I'm Laura Rios reporting.
The maximum penalty for a Class A misdemeanor is 1 year in prison and a fine of just over $6,000. It is possible Van Ornum will get a lesser sentence. A gorgeous, gorgeous day today. And Seth, please tell us it's going to last.
Natasha, I don't want to rain on the parade, but we are looking at some wet weather pushing through late tonight into tomorrow. Here is the latest on our Doppler radar. Right now, things are pretty quiet here in the southern half of the Willamette Valley, but it's the northern half of the valley into the northern coastline that's picking up the rain right now. Again, we have a chance of wet weather in the morning, those temperatures in the mid-40s, and then we're looking at mid-50s come noon, upper 50s by 3. We'll start looking at some sun breaks latter half of tomorrow afternoon, and the weekend, it is looking gorgeous. We'll talk more about that in your full forecast in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Seth. Well, you might want to think twice before you give any personal information over the phone. In Cottage Grove, this woman, Artie Sturman, got a call from someone claiming to be Dish Network. But after providing her social security number to set up an account, the caller hung up. And when Sturman called Dish Network back herself, she got quite a surprise.
And they said that nobody from their company had made such a call.
And what did you think right away?
Thought I'd been scammed.
We called the Better Business Bureau to find out how you can protect yourself from phone scams. They told us that a large business like Dish Network will very rarely contact you and ask you for personal information. Budget cuts could mean less care for the sick and elderly. This has organizations like AARP trying to get the word out and trying to keep funding flowing. Alyssa Harrington has the story.
Taking care of a sick or aging loved one can be hard. Just ask Dick Sly. When his wife of more than 50 years was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, he took the reins.
I felt I could handle this on my own.
Until it became too hard.
I was getting no rest. I was concerned every minute about what she was going to do, and I'm sitting there like, well, what do I do now? It's not their loved one's fault. It's the disease.
Sly eventually got help from AARP caretakers. He's worried with looming budget cuts in the caretaker industry, others won't be able to get the same type of help. According to the AARP, 41% of Oregonians are currently caring for an aging loved one or will within the next 10 years. 1 in 5 Oregonians will be over the age of 65 within the next 20 years. Those in the business tell me caretaker cuts would end up costing the state more money than it would save.
We are talking about hundreds of jobs that are at risk, and obviously we're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in lost economic energy and revenues.
That's why the AARP is holding forums like this one in Eugene all over the state. They're to let people know what could happen, what's offered, and if enough help is taken off the table, advice.
The most cogent advice I give to anyone caring for another is make sure you build in time to take care of yourself.
Being a boomer is spiritual.
Yeah, so Alyssa, how many jobs is Lane County looking at losing?
Well, Natasha, I was told more than 900 jobs in the caretaker industry between now and 2011. This also includes cuts in program funding, those programs that help out people who choose to take care of loved ones themselves. Live in the newsroom, I'm Alyssa Harrington. Back to you.
Thanks, Alyssa. Well, did you know there are health centers at several 4J schools, each staffed with nurse practitioners who can diagnose STDs? The health centers can give students condoms, but only if they're diagnosed with an STD. Parents can opt out of that option by signing a form. School nurses are allowed to counsel students about sex and refer them to other services. We talked to students today. They say it works.
Well, we do have Planned Parenthood right next to the school, and there's a lot of good sex education at South Eugene.
But not everyone's happy with the 4J policy. One woman at Planned Parenthood says it's, quote, ridiculous. The town of Silverton, home to the nation's first transgender mayor, has been named one of the top 10 coolest small towns in America. Budget Travel recently held a contest, and the town of almost 7,500 was one of the winners. Readers voted for their favorites, and Silverton got more than 3,000 votes. Tonight, the Portland Trail Blazers are gearing up for the NBA playoffs. Fox's Tom Ward joins us from the newsroom. Tom, I understand there was quite a rally today in Portland.
Natasha, there was. Blazer fans who have been hiding in much of the past decade have come out in full support of the franchise that is making its first playoff appearance in 6 years. Thousands of Blazer maniacs packed Pioneer Square this afternoon for nearly 3 hours for the Rip City Rally. The 54-win Blazers tied for the best record in the Northwest Division and clinched home court advantage in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Fourth-seeded Portland enters the postseason having won 6 straight. The last Blazer team to accomplish that feat, the 1977 championship squad.
What do you say besides thank you to your fans? You know, I mean, I didn't have no big speech, it's just thank you. I mean, we appreciate everything they do for us, and they're a huge reason why we're Northwest champs.
Everybody plays the game for the fans, and this is what it's all about. To have support like this is great. Our guys have responded to our crowds all season long, and you know what we played for last night was home court. We got that. Now we got to take advantage of it.
Now the Blazers tip off Game 1 Saturday at the Rose Garden against the Houston Rockets, 7:30. More on the Rip City Rally coming up in sports. Live in the newsroom, Tom Ward, Fox News.
All right, thanks, Tom. Well, New York's governor wants to legalize same-sex marriages in his state.
We stand to tell the world that we want equality for everyone. We stand to tell the world that we want marriage equality in New York State.
Governor David Paterson hopes to tap into the momentum for other states that have already legalized it. He says the bill he's introducing is the same bill that died in the state Senate a few years ago.
Yeah, this is the toughest time, Al, because they've been here for a couple hours now.
Meantime, John Madden is calling it quits after 3 decades as an NFL broadcaster. The 73-year-old is retiring. He said in a statement that he still loves all aspects of the job, but he knows this is the right time. His last telecast was the Super Bowl between Arizona and Pittsburgh. Early works painted by Nazi leader Adolf Hitler are up for sale in England. A British auction house is selling 13 paintings made by Hitler when he was a struggling artist in Vienna. The paintings include a rare self-portrait of the dictator without a nose or mouth sitting on a stone bridge. The auction starts tomorrow. Time now to take a look at some of the best video of the day. Here's Jim Ribble.
Take a look at this. Kentucky's Spalding University held its 37th annual Running of the Rodents Wednesday. This year's theme was Celebrity. And the contestants who didn't always run in the right direction included Robert Ratford, Ratalina Jolie, and Rat King Cole. The university